Welcome everyone to our channel. Today we're taking a fascinating journey into the world of United States Jefferson Nickels, where ordinary-looking 5-cent coins can sometimes hide surprising value. In this video we'll be looking at three interesting Jefferson Nickels: the 2000 P Jefferson Nickel, the 1981 D Jefferson Nickel, and other valuable P and D mint examples found in circulated condition. We'll explore their dates, mint marks, condition, important features, possible errors and varieties, and most importantly what these coins could be worth in today's collector and auction market. At first glance these coins may look like ordinary 5-cent pieces, but coin collecting teaches us an important lesson. The value of a coin is not always determined by its face value. A Jefferson nickel worth just 5 cents can sometimes become much more valuable if it has a rare error, an unusual variety, exceptional preservation, or a highly desirable full steps designation. That is why you should never ignore an interesting nickel before taking a closer look. So if you have old Jefferson nickels sitting in a collection, coin jar, drawer, or even your pocket change, stay with us because you may learn exactly what details collectors look for. We'll compare circulated examples with higher grade coins and explain why some Jefferson nickels remain close to face value while exceptional pieces can bring much stronger prices at auction. We'll also talk about the importance of the P and D mint marks, the condition of each coin, the details of Monticello on the reverse, and especially the famous steps that Jefferson nickel collectors carefully examine. We'll discuss why full steps can make such a dramatic difference, and why a genuine mint error can sometimes transform a common coin into a valuable collectible. Remember, not every Jefferson nickel is rare, and not every unusual-looking coin is automatically valuable. The real key is knowing what to look for and understanding the difference between normal circulation damage and a genuine minting error. So get your coins ready, look closely at the dates and mint marks, and join us as we uncover the fascinating world of valuable United States Jefferson Nickels. You might be surprised by what collectors are searching for and what some exceptional examples have achieved in the market. Let's get started. Coin number 1. If you have a United States 2000 Jefferson nickel with a P mint mark, you might be wondering whether that ordinary-looking 5-cent coin could actually be worth more than its face value. The 2000 P Jefferson nickel is an interesting coin because it is common in circulation, but certain high-grade examples, full steps coins, and genuine mint error varieties can bring surprisingly strong prices. The important thing is to understand that the P mint mark alone does not make a 2000 Jefferson nickel rare. The date, condition, strike quality, full steps designation, errors, and certification all have a major impact on what collectors are willing to pay. The 2000 P Jefferson nickel was struck at the Philadelphia Mint and carries the P mint mark on the reverse near Monticello. It has a face value of 5 cents and follows the classic Jefferson nickel design created by Felix Schlag. On the front of the coin is Thomas Jefferson, while the reverse features Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia home. Because the 2000 P issue was produced in large numbers, ordinary circulated examples are still readily available. PCGS specifically describes the 2000 P Jefferson nickel as very common in most grades and says examples can easily be found in circulation. For a normal circulated 2000 P Jefferson nickel, the value is usually close to face value, although examples in better circulated condition can bring a small premium depending on demand and appearance. Current reference information from USA Coinbook places the 2000 P Jefferson nickel around the low dollar range in uncirculated grades, while circulated pieces are generally much less valuable than exceptional mint state coins. This is an important distinction because many online videos show spectacular auction prices without explaining that those prices often belong to coins in extraordinary condition or coins with rare errors. When examining your 2000 P nickel, the first thing you should do is confirm the date. Make sure the coin actually reads 2000 and then check the reverse for the P mint mark. After that, examine the coin's overall condition. A circulated coin will usually show wear on Jefferson's portrait, the lettering, Monticello, and the highest points of the design. You may also see scratches, contact marks, discoloration, or other signs that the coin spent time in circulation. These characteristics generally keep the value relatively low. However, condition becomes much more important when you compare circulated coins with uncirculated coins. A 2000 P nickel that has never circulated can retain strong original luster and sharp details. At the highest grades, the market becomes much more selective. PCGS notes that the issue is common through about MS65, becomes more challenging around MS66, and is difficult to find at MS67. That explains why two coins that look almost identical to a casual observer can have dramatically different values after professional grading. One of the most important features to inspect on a Jefferson nickel is the steps of Monticello. Collectors often look for coins with sharply separated and complete steps which can qualify for a full steps designation. Full steps can significantly increase collector interest, especially when combined with a high numerical grade. Great Collections reports that its auction archive for 2000p Jefferson Nickels with the full steps designation includes sales ranging from about $6 to approximately $844, with examples graded from the low 60s through MS67. This does not mean a circulated 2000p nickel is worth $844. Instead, it shows how valuable a very high-grade, professionally certified full steps example can become. That difference is extremely important for anyone watching a coin value video. If you find a circulated 2000p Jefferson nickel in your pocket change, you should not automatically assume that it is worth hundreds of dollars simply because another 2000p nickel sold for hundreds at auction. Auction records are specific to individual coins. A high-grade full steps coin may have exceptional surfaces, strong luster, sharp details, and professional certification, while a circulated example may have extensive wear and contact marks. Another area that can dramatically change the value is mint errors. A genuine 2000p Jefferson nickel with a major minting error can be much more valuable than a normal example. Possible errors can include off-center strikes, broad strikes, die breaks, struck-through errors, clipped planchets, doubled dies, and unusual planchet errors. But collectors should be careful because many things that appear to be errors are actually damage that occurred after the coin left the mint. One documented example is particularly interesting. A 2000p Jefferson nickel, graded MS67 with a split planchet error reportedly sold for $1,020 at a Great Collections auction in 2018. This is a spectacular result compared with the value of an ordinary circulated nickel, but it represents a very specific combination of a rare mint error and an exceptionally high grade. It should not be used as the normal value of a circulated 2000p nickel. The word circulated is extremely important in your case. If your 2000p nickel has clearly been used in everyday commerce, its value is normally much lower than a pristine mint state example. A circulated coin may have scratches, flat details, dull surfaces, and small marks from contact with other coins. Those characteristics are normal and do not automatically indicate an error. You should also look closely at the lettering on the obverse. Examine Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date. On the reverse, study United States of America, EPLURIBUSUNUM 5 cents, and Monticello. Look for anything that appears genuinely unusual, but do not confuse ordinary die characteristics or circulation damage with a valuable mint error. The edge of the coin should also be examined. A normal Jefferson nickel has a plain edge rather than the reeded edge found on many U.S. coins. Look for unusual metal problems, cracks, clips, or other characteristics. If you see a dramatic crescent-shaped missing section or an unusual shape that appears to have happened during manufacturing, the coin could deserve professional examination. However, damage from cutting, squeezing, bending, or hitting the coin can create similar appearances. Another important point is that you should never clean a potentially valuable Jefferson nickel. Do not use silver polish, vinegar, chemicals, toothpaste, or abrasive materials. Cleaning can leave scratches and unnatural surfaces that reduce collector appeal. If your 2000p nickel appears unusual, keep it exactly as you found it and have it examined by a reputable coin dealer or professional grading service. So what is the realistic value of a circulated 2000p Jefferson nickel today? For an ordinary circulated example with no recognized error or special variety, the value is generally around its 5-cent face value to a modest premium. Online listings show ordinary circulated 2000p nickels being offered for small amounts, while bulk circulated rolls can be sold for only slightly above face value per coin. A normal circulated coin should therefore not be advertised as a hundreds of dollars coin simply because the same date exists in valuable high-grade auction records. If the coin is lightly circulated and attractive, it may bring a little more to the right collector, but condition alone does not normally transform a common 2000p nickel into a major rarity. The biggest opportunities come from exceptional preservation, full steps, and genuine mint errors. A good way to think about the market is to separate the coin into different categories. First is the ordinary circulated 2000p nickel. This is the type most people are likely to find in pocket change, and it normally has little premium over 5 cents. Second is the better preserved coin, which may have more attractive surfaces and stronger details. Third is the uncirculated coin, where professional grading becomes much more important. Fourth is the high-grade full steps coin, which can command substantially higher prices. Finally, there are rare and dramatic mint errors, where auction prices can reach hundreds or even more than $1,000 depending on the error and grade. The 2000p issue is especially interesting because the highest quality coins are much harder to find than ordinary examples. PCGS states that MS67 examples are difficult to locate, and that only a small number have received that grade, with no examples graded higher by PCGS according to its CoinFacts information. This creates an interesting situation where a coin can be extremely common in circulated condition, but surprisingly difficult to obtain in the finest certified grades. This is one of the most important lessons in modern coin collecting. Rarity does not always mean rarity of the date itself. Sometimes the date is common, but a particular grade or characteristic is rare. A 2000p Jefferson nickel may be easy to find in circulated condition, yet a top-grade full steps example can be difficult to locate. That difference is what creates a large gap between everyday pocket change value and high-end auction value. If you believe you have a special 2000p nickel, compare it carefully with professionally graded examples. Look at the quality of Jefferson's portrait, the sharpness of the lettering, the luster, the amount of contact damage, and especially the Monticello steps. A coin with strong steps and minimal marks is much more interesting than a heavily worn example. You should also remember that asking prices are not the same as auction prices. Someone can list a common 2000p nickel online for $50, $100, or even more, but that does not prove that collectors are actually paying that amount. A completed auction or documented sale provides much stronger evidence of market value. When researching your coin, focus on actual sold examples and reputable price guides rather than dramatic asking prices. The current auction market provides a useful lesson here. Great Collections has documented 2000p full steps Jefferson Nickels selling from single-digit dollar amounts to around $844 depending on grade and quality. The enormous difference between those results comes from the exact condition and characteristics of each coin. This is why a professional grade can make such a difference. If your coin is circulated, do not be disappointed if it is worth only a small amount. Most coins are common, and that is perfectly normal. The excitement comes from searching through many coins and learning how to recognize the unusual ones. A 5-cent coin can still tell an important story about American history, minting technology, and the evolution of U.S. coinage. The year 2000 is also historically interesting because it marked the beginning of a new millennium, and millions of Americans kept coins from that year as souvenirs. But the millennium date itself does not make every 2000 Jefferson nickel rare. Collectors generally pay premiums for specific characteristics rather than simply because the year is memorable. If you have a circulated 2000p Jefferson nickel, your best checklist is simple. Confirm the year, confirm the P mint mark, inspect the condition, study Monticello's steps, look for genuine doubling or other unusual features, examine the edge, and compare the coin with documented examples. Do not clean it, and do not assume that a high online asking price represents its real market value. The most valuable 2000p Jefferson nickels are therefore not ordinary circulated coins. The strongest values are associated with exceptional certified grades, full steps, and genuine mint errors. Documented 2000p split planchet error reaching $1,020 at auction demonstrates how dramatically a genuine mint error can change the value, while the broader auction record for full steps coins demonstrates how high-grade examples can also command strong prices. For the average circulated 2000p Jefferson nickel found in pocket change, a realistic expectation is a value close to face value, or a small premium rather than hundreds or thousands of dollars. But if your coin has an unusual error, exceptional strike, strong full steps, or an unusually high level of preservation, then it may deserve a much closer look. So before spending or giving away your 2000p Jefferson nickel, turn it over and inspect it carefully. Look at the P mint mark, study the date, examine Jefferson's portrait, and pay special attention to the steps of Monticello. What appears to be an ordinary 5-cent coin may not be extraordinary, but the only way to know is to inspect the exact coin in your hand. And remember, the value of any collectible coin depends on the individual piece. Auction records can change, market demand can change, and professional grading can make a major difference. The smartest collector is not the person who assumes every old coin is worth a fortune. The smartest collector is the person who knows what details to look for and verifies the value before making a decision. If you have a 2000p Jefferson nickel in circulated condition, keep checking it. Most will remain ordinary 5-cent coins, but a genuine mint error or exceptional example can turn a simple piece of pocket change into a fascinating collectible. That is what makes coin hunting so exciting. You never know what might be hiding in the next roll, coin jar, or pocket. Coin number 2. If you have a United States 2000 Jefferson nickel with a P mint mark, take a close look before spending it. This 5-cent coin is one of the modern Jefferson nickels that can be found in circulation, and while most circulated examples are not rare, certain varieties, mint errors, and especially high-grade full steps examples can be worth considerably more than 5 cents. The key is knowing exactly what you have. A normal circulated 2000p Jefferson nickel is generally a low-value coin, but the right combination of condition, strike quality, and a genuine minting error can make the same date much more interesting to collectors. The 2000p Jefferson nickel was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and approximately 846.24 million examples were produced. Because of this very large production number, the normal 2000p nickel is common, particularly in circulated condition. Current coin references describe circulated examples as having relatively little premium, while the value increases as the coin moves into uncirculated and higher certified grades. The first thing to check is the date. Make sure the coin clearly shows 2000 on the obverse. You should then turn the coin over and look near Monticello for the P mint mark. The P indicates Philadelphia. The coin has a face value of 5 cents and was made from the standard copper-nickel composition used for regular Jefferson Nickels. Unlike the famous wartime nickels of 1942 through 1945, a normal 2000p Jefferson nickel is not a silver coin. The design itself is one of the most recognizable in American coinage. Thomas Jefferson appears on the obverse, while Monticello appears on the reverse. The design was created by Felix Schlag and has been associated with the Jefferson Nickel series since 1938. By 2000, the coin had already been in production for more than 6 decades, making the 2000p issue part of a very important American coin series. Now let's talk about the most important question. What is a circulated 2000p Jefferson nickel actually worth today? For an ordinary circulated example with no major error, no unusual variety, and no exceptional characteristics, the realistic value is usually close to face value or only a modest premium. One current reference gives circulated 2000p examples a range of approximately 15 cents to 90 cents depending on the degree of wear and other factors. Other market references show ordinary circulated and low-grade examples generally selling for very small amounts. That means if you find a worn 2000p nickel in your pocket change, you should not automatically believe that it is worth hundreds of dollars. Many online videos and listings show very high prices for Jefferson Nickels, but those prices frequently belong to coins with exceptional grades, full steps, or unusual mint errors. A circulated coin should be valued according to its own condition and characteristics, not according to the highest price ever reported for the date. Condition is extremely important. A circulated coin has been used in commerce and normally shows wear on Jefferson's portrait and the details of Monticello. The surfaces may have scratches, small contact marks, discoloration, or loss of original luster. These characteristics are normal for circulated coins and generally keep their market value relatively low. If your 2000p nickel looks unusually sharp, however, you should examine it more carefully. Look at Jefferson's hair, cheek, jawline, and the lettering around the portrait. On the reverse, study Monticello and especially the steps leading toward the building. The steps are one of the most important areas for Jefferson nickel collectors. Collectors often look for the full steps designation, commonly written as FS. This designation refers to unusually complete and sharply separated steps on Monticello. A strong strike with complete steps can make a major difference in the collector market. A current market guide for the 2000p full steps issue lists significantly higher values for certified high-grade coins, with examples in MS66 and MS67 occupying a very different market from ordinary circulated nickels. This is where the difference between a circulated coin and a mint state coin becomes very important. A circulated 2000p nickel may be worth only a few cents or a small premium, while a professionally graded high-grade full steps example can sell for tens or hundreds of dollars. Recent completed sale data includes 2000p full steps examples around $45 to $51 in MS66, while the strongest certified examples can be considerably more expensive. One current market reference lists an MS66 full steps retail value around $47 and an MS67 full steps retail value around $725, although actual auction results can differ substantially depending on certification, appeal demand, and the venue. These numbers should not be applied to a circulated nickel. They demonstrate how dramatically grade and full steps can change the market. This is why you should not clean your 2000p nickel in an attempt to make it look more valuable. Cleaning can create hairline scratches and unnatural surfaces, and collectors generally prefer original surfaces. If you think the coin could be valuable, leave it exactly as you found it. Do not use chemicals, polishing compounds, toothpaste, abrasive materials, or household cleaners. Another major factor is mint errors. The 2000p Jefferson nickel can exist with unusual minting errors, and a genuine error can make a common date much more valuable. Collectors look for characteristics such as off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, struck-through errors, double strikes, and unusual planchet errors. However, you need to be very careful here because damage is not the same as a mint error. A coin that has been hit, squeezed, scratched, bent, or damaged after leaving the mint can sometimes look extremely unusual. A genuine mint error should have characteristics consistent with something that happened during the manufacturing process. One particularly important example is the 2000p Jefferson nickel with a split planchet error. A reported example graded MS67 with this type of error sold for $1,020 at auction. This is the kind of result that attracts attention, but remember that this was not an ordinary circulated 2000p nickel. It was an unusual mint error coin combined with an exceptional grade. You should never use $1,020 as the normal value of a circulated 2000p nickel. The auction market provides an important lesson here. When you see a headline saying a 2000p Jefferson nickel is worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, always ask what made that particular coin special. Was it MS66? Was it MS67? Did it have full steps? Was it a genuine mint error? Was it professionally certified? Was it an unusually strong strike? These details can explain the entire difference in price. For example, current completed sale records show ordinary 2000p uncirculated coins selling for around $1 to a few dollars, while certified MS66 full steps examples have recently sold for around $45 to $51. This is a perfect illustration of why the word condition matters so much. If your coin is circulated, you should examine it under good lighting. Do not rely only on the way the coin looks from a distance. Use a magnifying glass if necessary and inspect both sides carefully. Check the date, mint mark, lettering, portrait, Monticello, and steps. Look for anything that appears unusual and consistent with a minting process rather than ordinary circulation damage. Pay particular attention to the steps on Monticello. On a worn circulated coin, the steps may be weak or partially missing because of wear. That is normal. A coin cannot normally be considered a high-grade full steps example if it has substantial circulation wear. Full steps premiums are most relevant to coins with strong preservation and sharp strikes. The P mint mark itself is not an error. Some people see the P and assume that it means the coin is rare. It simply identifies the Philadelphia mint. The rarity of a 2000p nickel comes from other factors, such as condition, strike, full steps, or an unusual mint error. Another common mistake is confusing tunning or discoloration with an error. Jefferson Nickels can develop different colors because of environmental exposure, storage conditions, or chemical reactions. A colorful coin may look interesting, but unusual color alone does not automatically mean the coin is a rare mint error. You should also avoid assuming that every doubled-looking letter or number is a valuable doubled die. Machine doubling, die wear, scratches, and postmint damage can create appearances that resemble doubling. Genuine varieties require careful examination, and for valuable pieces, professional attribution. If your 2000p nickel is only moderately circulated and has no obvious error, its market value will probably remain relatively modest. Current guides place circulated examples in the cents to under $1 range, depending on condition and the particular market. That may sound disappointing compared with the headline prices of rare Jefferson Nickels, but it is actually useful information because it prevents unrealistic expectations. At the same time, don't ignore a coin just because it is a modern date. The 2000p Jefferson nickel may be common in circulation, but high-quality examples with full steps can be much more difficult to find. The best coins are separated from ordinary examples by strike quality, surface preservation, luster, and grade. The value guide from APMEX illustrates the same pattern. Its listed values rise from about $1 for an uncirculated example to higher amounts in MS63 through MS67, reaching about $93 at MS67 in its general grade table. These are not values for a normal circulated nickel. They show how the market can increase as preservation improves. This is why professional grading can matter for an exceptional coin. A grading service evaluates the coin's condition and places it into a standardized grade. For a common circulated nickel, paying for grading may not make financial sense. But if you believe your coin could be an extremely high-grade example or has a significant mint error, professional evaluation may be worth considering. Before sending a coin for grading, compare it carefully with certified examples. If it has obvious circulation wear, heavy scratches, or damaged surfaces, it is unlikely to receive the kind of high grade that creates a major premium. If it appears nearly untouched, has strong original luster, and has exceptionally sharp Monticello steps, it may deserve more attention. The most valuable 2000p Jefferson Nickels are therefore not simply old nickels. They are special examples within a common date. The market rewards rarity, quality, authenticity, and collector demand. A common circulated nickel and a certified high-grade full steps nickel may have the same date and mint mark but completely different values. If you are searching through a collection, coin jar, or roll of nickels, don't stop after identifying the date and mint mark. Compare the quality of the coin to other 2000p examples. Look for sharp details. Examine the steps. Check for unusual minting characteristics. And if something looks genuinely different, get a second opinion before assuming it is valuable. The biggest lesson is simple. The 2000p Jefferson nickel is common in circulated condition, but exceptional examples can be worth much more. A normal circulated coin may be worth around 5 cents to less than $1, while high-grade full steps examples can reach tens or hundreds of dollars, and rare mint errors can reach even higher auction results. Current market data confirms that the value difference is driven primarily by grade, strike, full steps, and special errors rather than simply the date and P mint mark. So if you have a 2000 P Jefferson nickel in circulated condition, the most realistic expectation is that it is worth only a small amount above its 5-cent face value unless it has an unusual characteristic. But that does not mean you should ignore it. The coin is worth examining because a genuine mint error or an unusually strong example can change the story completely. Remember that auction prices are not guaranteed values. One collector may pay more because a coin fits a collection perfectly, while another buyer may have little interest in it. Auction results can also vary according to grade, certification, appeal, timing, and market demand. That is why recent completed sales are generally more useful than dramatic online asking prices. If you find a 2000 P Jefferson nickel that appears to have a major error, do not clean it and do not attempt to repair it. Keep it safe and have it examined by a reputable coin dealer or professional grading service. If the coin is ordinary and circulated, it may simply be a 5-cent piece, but if it has a genuine minting error or exceptional condition, professional identification can help determine its true market potential. The next time you receive a 2000 P Jefferson nickel, turn it over and look closely at Monticello. Check the steps, inspect the surfaces, examine the lettering, and search for unusual mint characteristics. Most examples will be ordinary, but the search itself is what makes coin collecting exciting. A 5-cent piece can sometimes lead you into the fascinating world of mint errors, grading, varieties, and auction markets. The 2000 P Jefferson nickel proves that value is not always about age. It is about rarity, condition, quality, and demand. A coin produced in large numbers can still become valuable when only a small number survive with exceptional characteristics. So before you spend that 2000 P nickel, give it a second look. The date may be common, but the individual coin could still have something interesting waiting to be discovered. Coin number 3. If you have a United States 1981 Jefferson nickel with a D mint mark, you may be wondering whether this 5-cent coin is worth more than its face value in today's collector and auction market. The 1981 D Jefferson nickel is an interesting coin because ordinary circulated examples are common and usually worth only a small amount, but exceptional high-grade coins, full steps examples, and genuine mint errors can be worth dramatically more. The most important thing to understand is that the D mint mark by itself does not make this nickel rare. The exact condition, strike quality, variety, error characteristics, and professional certification determine whether your coin is worth 5 cents, a small premium, several dollars, or potentially hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The 1981 D Jefferson nickel was struck at the Denver Mint, and the United States Mint produced 364,801,843 examples. The coin is made from the regular copper-nickel composition used for Jefferson Nickels, with a weight of about 5 grams and a diameter of approximately 21.2 millimeters. PCGS records the 1981 D issue as a regular strike Jefferson nickel with a mintage of 364,801,843 pieces. Because such a large number were produced, the ordinary circulated 1981 D nickel is not considered a rare coin simply because it is more than 40 years old. When you first examine your coin, start with the date. Make sure the numbers 1981 are clearly visible on the obverse, then turn the coin over and locate the D mint mark. For this era of Jefferson nickel, the mint mark is found on the reverse near Monticello. The D identifies the Denver Mint. The presence of the D is important for identifying the exact issue, but it does not automatically mean that the coin is valuable. The Jefferson nickel has a long history in American coinage. The series began in 1938 and replaced the Buffalo nickel. The obverse features Thomas Jefferson, while the reverse features Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia home. The classic design by Felix Schlag remained in use through this period. The 1981 D nickel therefore belongs to a long-running and popular American coin series that is collected by date, mint mark, grade, varieties, and errors. Now let's talk about the value of an ordinary circulated 1981 D Jefferson nickel. Current NGC information states that a 1981 D Jefferson nickel in circulated condition is worth approximately 10 cents to 20 cents, while uncirculated examples can be worth substantially more, with the highest quality pieces reaching much higher levels. This is a much more realistic starting point for an ordinary circulated example than the dramatic prices sometimes shown in online coin videos. If your 1981 D nickel has been in circulation for many years, you will probably see wear on Jefferson's portrait, his hair, cheek, and jawline. The lettering may also show signs of wear, and the surfaces can contain small scratches, contact marks, stains, or discoloration. On the reverse, the details of Monticello can become less sharp, especially the steps beneath the building. These are normal characteristics of a circulated coin and generally keep the value relatively close to face value, but there is another side to the story. The 1981 Jefferson nickel becomes much more interesting when the coin is in exceptionally high condition. PCGS records an auction record of $633 for a 1981 Jefferson nickel graded MS66, with that sale taking place at Heritage Auctions in December 2004. This is an important historical auction result, but it should not be interpreted as the current value of an ordinary circulated coin. The coin involved was an exceptionally high-grade example. The full steps designation is especially important for Jefferson nickel collectors. On the reverse, look closely at the steps of Monticello. When those steps are sharply struck and remain complete, the coin may qualify for a full steps designation. Collectors commonly refer to these coins as FS examples. Full steps can create a significant premium because strong, complete steps are much harder to find on high-grade Jefferson nickels. Current auction archives demonstrate just how large this difference can be. Great Collections report 69 sales of 1981 Jefferson nickel full steps examples over the past 16 years, with recorded prices ranging from about $6 to approximately $3,653 across grades from low circulated grades through grade 67. That enormous range is exactly why you should never use one spectacular auction result as the value of every 1981 nickel. The $3,653 result belongs to a very special high-grade full steps example, not a normal circulated nickel. A circulated 1981 coin with obvious wear should not be advertised as being worth thousands of dollars simply because another coin with the same date and mint mark reached that price. Coin value depends on the individual specimen. This distinction is extremely important for anyone searching pocket change. If you find a worn 1981 Jefferson nickel, the realistic expectation is generally around face value or a small premium. NGC's current circulated estimate of approximately 10 to 20 cents provides a useful reference for ordinary circulated pieces. But if you discover a coin with unusually sharp details, excellent surfaces, and strong Monticello steps, it deserves much closer examination. One of the first things to inspect is the overall surface quality. A coin that is circulated will normally have contact marks and wear. A coin that has remained uncirculated may still have small marks from the minting and handling process, but it should retain its original mint luster. High-grade collectors are extremely sensitive to marks on the fields and portrait because even small imperfections can prevent a coin from receiving a very high grade. The next thing to examine is the reverse. Look at Monticello from top to bottom. Check the roof, windows, columns, lettering, and especially the steps. If the steps are completely worn or blended together, the coin is not going to compete with a high-grade full steps example. If the steps are exceptionally sharp and clearly separated, the coin becomes much more interesting. Do not clean the coin to try to reveal the steps. Cleaning can damage the surfaces and leave hairlines that are immediately visible to experienced collectors. Never use toothpaste, vinegar, metal polish, abrasive powders, or other household products on a potentially valuable coin. If you think your nickel may be special, preserve it in its original condition. The 1981 nickel can also be interesting because collectors search for mint errors and varieties. A genuine error can change the value of an otherwise common date. Examples of possible minting errors include off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, struck-through errors, and double die varieties. But there is an important warning: not every unusual-looking coin is a mint error. Post-mint damage is extremely common. A coin can be hit by machinery, squeezed, scratched, bent, chemically altered, or damaged by another object. Some of these forms of damage can look dramatic. A genuine mint error must be consistent with something that happened during the minting process. For valuable errors, authentication is strongly recommended. The 1981 issue has also been associated with double die varieties. Current marketplace listings show examples described as 1981 DDR varieties, but online listings and asking prices are not the same thing as confirmed auction values. If your coin appears doubled, compare the exact feature with recognized variety references and consider professional attribution before assuming it is a valuable doubled die. This is another reason why collectors should be careful when watching videos or reading online listings. Someone may list a 1981 nickel for $20, $100, or even more, but a listing price does not prove that collectors are actually paying that amount. Completed auction results and established price guides provide much stronger evidence of real market value. For a normal circulated 1981 nickel, the market is very different. If the coin has ordinary wear, no major error, and no unusual variety, the value is generally small. The coin's 5-cent face value remains the most important baseline, and collector demand usually adds only a modest premium for circulated examples. The value begins to change as the grade improves. An uncirculated example with strong original luster and minimal contact marks can be worth more. A gem-quality coin with excellent surfaces can be worth substantially more. Then if the same coin also has full steps, the collector premium can increase significantly. The strongest examples are those that combine high grade, excellent eye appeal, sharp strike quality, and complete Monticello steps. These coins are difficult to locate, which is why the auction market can produce results that seem surprising compared with the value of an ordinary circulated example. Current graysheet information also shows a broad market range for 1981D full steps Jefferson Nickels, with auction data extending from approximately $1 to $800 in its reported pricing information. Again, this is a broad category covering different grades and qualities. It should not be interpreted as meaning that every circulated 1981D nickel is worth 800. The difference between a common circulated nickel and a valuable high-grade specimen can therefore be enormous. Imagine two coins sitting next to each other. Both say 1981. Both have the D mint mark. Both show Thomas Jefferson and Monticello. One has been circulating for decades with worn surfaces and weak steps. The other is nearly flawless, retains strong mint luster, has sharp details, and qualifies for full steps. To a casual observer, they may look similar, but to a professional collector, they are completely different coins. This is why coin grading matters so much. Professional grading services evaluate the condition of coins using standardized grades. For common circulated coins, professional grading often does not make financial sense because the grading cost can be much higher than the coin's value. But for a potentially rare high-grade example or a significant mint error, professional certification can be extremely useful. If your 1981D nickel is circulated, look for signs of wear rather than expecting it to be a mint-state coin. The highest points of Jefferson's portrait are particularly useful. The hair and cheek can show flattening, while the reverse details can also become smooth. The original luster will generally be reduced on a circulated coin. Another important point is that age alone does not make a coin valuable. The 1981D Jefferson Nickel is more than 40 years old, but millions were produced. With a mintage of 364,801,843, the date is not scarce in ordinary circulated condition. The value comes from scarcity within specific grades or special varieties, not simply from the fact that the coin was made in 1981. If you find one in your pocket change, the first question should not be, is this worth thousands of dollars? Instead ask, does this particular coin have anything unusual? Check the grade, strike, steps, surfaces, and possible errors. This approach will give you a much more realistic understanding of the coin. You should also inspect the date carefully. A damaged or partially worn date can sometimes be misread. Make sure it is truly 1981. Then confirm that the mint mark is D and not another mint. The combination of date and mint mark identifies the specific issue you are researching. If your coin has strong details but appears circulated, it may fall somewhere between a heavily worn example and a true uncirculated coin. Collectors use different grades to describe these intermediate conditions. An about uncirculated coin may retain considerable detail but show light wear on the highest points. These distinctions can influence value, although the largest premiums usually occur when a coin enters the uncirculated grades. Another factor is eye appeal. Two coins with similar technical grades can sometimes sell for different amounts because one has cleaner surfaces, better color, stronger luster, or a more attractive overall appearance. This is especially important in competitive collector markets. You should also remember that auction prices can change. The $633 PCGS auction record is a historical result from 2004, while Great Collections reports much more recent sales across a wide range of grades. Market demand, collector interest, certification populations, and the availability of comparable coins can all influence the price at any particular auction. If you are creating a valuation for your own coin, use the exact condition rather than the highest price you can find online. A circulated 1981D Jefferson Nickel should be compared with circulated examples. An MS66 full steps coin should be compared with MS66 full steps examples. An error coin should be compared with the same type of authenticated error. This is the most accurate way to estimate what your coin might bring. If your 1981D nickel has an unusual feature, take clear photographs of both sides before handling it further. Keep the coin in a safe holder that does not contain damaging materials. Do not tape it, glue it, polish it, or scratch it to investigate a suspected error. For the average circulated 1981D Jefferson nickel, the most realistic current value is around 10 cents to 20 cents according to NGC's circulated estimate. Some examples may trade for face value or a small premium depending on the buyer and market. A coin with better preservation can be worth more, while a high-grade full-step specimen can enter a completely different market. At the top end, the documented auction history shows that exceptional 1981D full steps coins can command thousands of dollars. Great Collections reports a top sale of approximately $3,653 for this issue, while PCGS lists a $633 auction record for an MS66 example from Heritage Auctions. These results demonstrate the extraordinary difference between a normal circulated coin and an elite collector specimen. But there is no reason to be discouraged if your coin is only worth a few cents. Coin collecting is about more than finding a fortune. Every Jefferson nickel can teach you something about American history, mint production, grading, and the collector market. The thrill comes from discovering a coin that is unusual compared with the millions of ordinary pieces. So if you have a 1981 D Jefferson nickel, turn it over and inspect Monticello carefully. Look at every step. Examine the lettering, study the surfaces, check the edge. Look for unusual doubling, off-center striking, clipped areas, die cracks, or other characteristics that could indicate a genuine minting error. Most importantly, do not confuse damage with rarity. A scratch across the date is not automatically an error. A bent edge is not automatically a mint mistake. A strange color does not automatically make the coin rare. Proper identification is essential before assigning a high value. The 1981 D Jefferson Nickel is a perfect example of how the coin market works. The date itself is common, but exceptional quality can be scarce. The average circulated example is inexpensive, while a top-quality full-step specimen can bring a much higher price. That is why professional collectors pay so much attention to grade and strike quality. If you find a circulated 1981 D nickel, the realistic expectation should be a small value above face value unless you discover something special. If the coin has an authentic mint error or appears unusually well preserved, then it may deserve further investigation. The most important thing is to look before you spend. A 5-cent coin may not make you rich, but a rare variety, genuine mint error, or exceptional high-grade example can turn an ordinary-looking Jefferson nickel into a collectible worth far more than its face value. So the next time a 1981 D Jefferson nickel comes into your hands, don't immediately put it back into circulation. Check the date, check the D mint mark, inspect Jefferson's portrait, examine Monticello, and study those steps. Most coins will be common, but learning how to identify the exceptional ones is what makes searching through old nickels so exciting. And remember, the exact value of your 1981 D Jefferson nickel depends on the individual coin. Current references place ordinary circulated examples around 10 to 20 cents, while documented auction records show that exceptional full steps examples can reach hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The difference is condition, quality, rarity, and authenticity. If your coin is circulated in ordinary, enjoy it as a piece of American coinage history. If it has sharp details, strong steps, an unusual variety, or a genuine mint error, then you may have something much more interesting. The best strategy is simple. Inspect carefully, never clean the coin, compare it with documented sales, and get professional advice if the coin appears truly exceptional.